Studying for your AWS CCP exam, 10 essential services, 10 questions. Name each icon before the reveal. Stomaway. Question 1. Which AWS service is this? Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Think of EC2 as renting a virtual computer in the cloud. You choose the size, the operating system, and pay by the hour or second. EC2 is the foundation of AWS Compute. For the CCP exam, know that EC2 represents the infrastructure as a service model. AWS manages the hardware, you manage the OS and above. The icon is a small orange square. Visualize it as a tiny server chip sitting in a rack. EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Question 2. Which AWS service is this? Amazon S3, Simple Storage Service. S3 is object storage. You store files called objects inside containers called buckets. Each object gets a unique URL. S3 is used for backups, static websites, data lakes, and media delivery. For the CCP exam, S3 is infinitely scalable, highly durable, 11 nines, and you pay only for what you store. The icon is a green circle with a horizontal line. Picture a full bucket sitting on a shelf. S3, Simple Storage Service. Question 3. Which AWS service is this? Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service. RDS gives you a managed database. AWS handles patching, backups, multi-AZ failover, and scaling. You pick the engine, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, SQL Server, or Aurora. For the CCP exam, RDS sits in the Managed Services bucket. AWS handles the undifferentiated heavy lifting. You focus on your schema and queries. The icon is a stack of cylinders, the universal database symbol, RDS, Relational Database Service. Question 4. Which AWS service is this? Amazon VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. VPC lets you carve out an isolated, private section of the AWS cloud, your own IP address ranges, subnets, and routing rules. Think of it as building your own private data center inside AWS. Every EC2 instance lives inside a VPC. For the CCP exam, VPC is how you control network boundaries and separate resources from the public internet. The icon is a shield in front of a cloud, private and protected. VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. TA. Question 5. Which AWS service is this? AWS IAM, Identity and Access Management. IAM controls who can do what in your AWS account. You create users, groups, and roles, then attach policies that grant or deny permissions. The CCP exam loves IAM, specifically the principle of least privilege. Always grant the minimum permissions needed, nothing more. A common exam pattern. If someone can't access a resource, the answer is almost always IAM. The icon is a stylized figure. Identity, access, control. IAM, Identity and Access Management. Question 6. Which AWS service is this? Amazon CloudWatch, the monitoring and observability service for AWS. CloudWatch collects metrics, CPU, memory, network, stores logs from your applications, and triggers alarms when thresholds are breached. You can set an alarm to send an SNS notification when your EC2 CPU hits 90%. For the CCP exam, CloudWatch is how you know your application is healthy right now. The icon is a stylized eye. It's watching everything. CloudWatch, SER. Question 7. Which AWS service is this? AWS CloudTrail. If CloudWatch tells you what's happening now, CloudTrail records what happened in the past. Every API call made in your account, who made it, what they did, when and from where, is logged and stored. For the CCP exam, CloudTrail is the audit and compliance tool. If you need to answer the question, who deleted that S3 bucket, or who changed this security group, CloudTrail has the answer. The icon is footprints, a trail through the cloud, CloudTrail. Question 8. Which AWS service is this? AWS Lambda. Lambda is serverless compute. You write a function, define what event triggers it, an S3 upload, an API call, a schedule, and AWS runs it. No servers to provision, no capacity to manage, no idle time charges. You pay only for the milliseconds your code runs. For the CCP exam, Lambda is the purest example of the serverless model and function as a service. The icon is the Greek letter lambda, serverless compute. Question 9. Which AWS service is this? Elastic Load Balancing. ELB distributes incoming traffic across multiple targets, EC2 instances, containers, or IP addresses. When traffic spikes, ELB routes requests to healthy instances and avoids overloaded ones. If an instance fails a health check, ELB stops sending it traffic automatically. For the CCP exam, combining EC2 autoscaling with a load balancer is the standard answer for achieving high availability and fault tolerance. The icon is a pair of scales, perfectly balanced, ELB, Elastic Load Balancing. Question 10. Which AWS service is this? Amazon Route 53. Route 53 is AWS's fully managed DNS service. It translates domain names like example.com into IP addresses that computers understand. It also handles health checks, failover routing, and geolocation routing. The name comes from port 53, the standard port for DNS. For the CCP exam, Route 53 handles domain registration and DNS resolution. It's also the answer whenever a question mentions custom domain or routing traffic globally. The icon is a satellite dish, routing signals from anywhere to anywhere. Route 53. That's all 10. Drop your score in the comments and check the CCP playlist for the full 30 service series. Subscribe to Service Recall for more Cloud Icon quizzes, AWS, Azure, and GCP. Check the CCP exam prep playlist for all 3 episodes. Good luck.